Hey everyone, it's Silva, and I am currently on a pause from my through hike. I am not currently on the Appalachian Trail, and I thought I would give you a quick update and let you know why. Stay tuned. Alright, so if you've been following my channel, you know that about 5 weeks ago, I had a severe injury while hiking the Appalachian Trail. I severely sprained my ankle. I'll try and insert some pictures here of what it looked like right after I did it. And, I tried to give it some time to rest. I spent a week in a hotel. And then after about 5 days, I started doing a few short slack pack days to try and see if I could get back on trail. After about a little over a week after my injury, I got back on trail and kept hiking, and I hiked approximately another 150 miles on that ankle. Some days easier than others, various mileage. The one thing I can say while I was hiking that time is I was taking a whole lot of ibuprofen. But what happened was, which you'll see, I do have a few videos coming up the last few days, is that for whatever reason, my ankle started to get worse again, and I started having more pain and swelling, which I tried to just kind of ignore. I took more ibuprofen, which then started to really upset my stomach. But I wanted to keep going, so I tried to keep going by taking less ibuprofen. And on the final day before I got off trail, and I'm not off permanently, I'm just on a pause at the moment, I was getting severe pain in my ankle with almost every step. I would get sharp pain from my ankle. Sometimes it would shoot up my leg. Other times the sharp pain would shoot into the arch of my foot. And then I started getting numbness in my toes, which all made me start to wonder if there was some sort of fracture that got missed in the x-ray, or it hadn't showed up yet, or what was going on with my ankle, because now it was swelling and more painful than it had been in the previous weeks while I was hiking. So I decided to get off trail at, it was mile 657, Peters Mountain Trailhead. Angel West was able to come pick me up and another hiker, TW. We went back to Angel's Rest, and from there the next morning I went over to the ER. So they took additional x-rays at the ER, and I spoke with the doctor, and I explained everything that had been going on, and the doctor asked me all sorts of questions. I showed her pictures of what my ankle had looked like when I first did it, and that, explained that I got back on trail after about 5 days, and, I said I did some slack packing, and then I got back on full time after about a week, and I explained I'd done almost 150 miles. I think it was like 147 or 148, or I don't know, maybe not quite, but anyway, she was not impressed. I think she thought I'd lost my marbles to try and keep hiking on that. But I tried to explain how we all feel about hiking and through hiking and why it was so important to keep hiking, but yeah, she didn't get it. I know most of you will understand why I kept trying to go. So, but she did not. Because I kept hiking on my ankle, the swelling was coming back, and I was doing additional damage, unfortunately, and the swelling was pressing on nerves now that was causing the sharp pain and the numbness. And she wanted me in a boot. She said I needed to take time off the trail and let my ankle actually heal, and I needed to see an orthopedic doctor. So I asked many questions. What happens if I just keep going and try and continue to ignore the pain? And of course, she didn't recommend that, but she also said I could do permanent damage to my ankle and that I could have issues for years to come, which I don't want, because I absolutely love backpacking and I have many more plans, not just the Appalachian Trail. So I decided in the end, as heartbreaking and excruciating with many tears shed, that I needed to take a break and let my ankle heal, and I needed to see an orthopedic doctor. So my appointment with the orthopedic doctor is next week. I haven't seen them yet, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my ankle yet. It's in a boot. It's still really sore and tender, and that is a bummer. But I hopefully I get some answers next week. I will certainly let you know what I find out. I'm pretty sure they're going to do more x-rays. I think they need to do an MRI and check the ligaments personally, so we shall see what happens with that next week. And in the meantime, I am working on trying to figure out next steps for my through hike. I don't know what they are yet, just because I don't know what they're going to tell me about my ankle. So it's hard to make plans. I can tell you 100% that I will finish this trail. I am very, very determined. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, because I don't know what's going on with my ankle. But I know I was mentally fine. I had a couple mentally tough days, which everybody does on the trail, but I was mentally fine. I knew that I could mentally finish the trail. My family was still super supportive. Unfortunately, my physical self was not doing so well. So I did make that tough decision, and it is, and still is, and was quite an emotional roller coaster. Just to give you guys some ideas how difficult a decision like that can be for someone that's trying to complete a journey like this. So I felt terrible. I'm not a crier, but I just would randomly burst into tears over it. And then there are positives about, I was happy to go and see my daughter and future son-in-law, the one that's getting married, in Maryland. I stayed with them a few days, and they were so much fun to be with. And then coming home, my husband and my youngest daughter picked me up at the airport, and I hadn't seen her in almost 2 years, and because she lived in LA, but now she's staying at our house before she moves to Sweden, which I would have missed her had I not been able to come home, because she's planning to leave for Sweden in June. So, I get to hang out with my little girl, and my son and his girlfriend are here temporarily while they look for a place to stay. So I'm getting to hang out with my entire family, which I haven't been able to do in years. And so that's a positive that I am holding on to, because that is just absolutely amazing. So one minute I'm happy to see everybody, then I'm sad, then I feel guilty because I'm sad, and it's just a giant emotional roller coaster. So, and then all the doubts in my head, maybe I shouldn't have gone off trail, maybe it was not the best thing to do, but then, the pain in my ankle says, hey lady, the last 11-mile day was really, really hard because of the pain in your foot. So I know that I did the right thing and getting this looked at, but it doesn't make it any easier. So just so you know, it's not an easy decision. And like I said, it's certainly not over. I will finish this, even if I have to crawl, and I'm very, very determined. Now, my journey isn't looking like I planned, but it is my journey, and there's a reason for everything. I don't know what those reasons are. Maybe it is just getting to spend time with my family. But there's many lessons to be learned from this, and I am trying to learn them and trying to be patient with myself mostly, which is very hard. My family's been great and super supportive, so that's been nice. So I know this was long-winded. I apologize for taking so long to do it. It was really hard to be able to put this video together. It's just hard. It's like sort of admitting defeat. But then again, there goes that mental game saying, you're not defeated, you're just pausing. So I just want to thank you all so much for following along. Thank you for your support. Don't go anywhere, because it is not over. And but one of the things I would like to do while I'm off is do a Q&A video. I thought that might be fun to do. So if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask me, you can put them down in the comments below, and I will be, over the next week maybe or so, I will be putting together a Q&A video. So the one other thing I did want to say is about my journey, and Camper 2020 really helped me see that it is a personal journey for everybody. And however this turns out, it's my journey, and for me to learn, and I want to share my journey with all of you to hope some of you get out there, whether it's a through hike or a section hike, or just encourage you to get out and day hike. Any of that, it makes me happy to hear when people say that I encourage them to get outside. So, but knowing it is my journey, and everybody's journey is different, and it doesn't always go as planned, but you got to take that and do what you can and make it work, whether it's the way you planned it or not. Really, the goal is getting to Katahdin, and I guess it just may look different getting there than I had thought it would, but that's okay. As long as I get there, then I will be thrilled. So again, thank you so much for following along. I'll give you updates as I figure it out. I have lots of things to figure out, physically, financially. You know, the trip home took quite a bit of money. It was very hard to get out of a small little town. You had to take shuttles and buses, and then a train, and then another bus, and anyway, and then a plane, and it all got very expensive. And my week earlier in the hotel sort of added up. So I have to sit down and figure out financially where to go from here, and physically I need to wait and talk to ortho. So I am definitely committed to this journey, but it's kind of a wait and see right this second of how I'm going to complete it. So drop your questions below. I'll put together that Q&A video. I do, like I said, have a few more videos from the trail that will be coming out over the next week. I think maybe there's 3 or 4 left, so those will be coming out, and then I'll do the Q&A video and another update video once I see the orthopedic doctor. All right, everyone, thanks so much for following along, and I'll see you soon.